Hey guys, my name's Rosie. Thanks so much for dropping by. This video is on my 2020 planner journey. So let's get this video started. So I don't even know where to begin. I'm all crisscross applesauce. I decided to showcase my planners over here while I talked over here. So I'm going to be showing you all the planners that I use in 2020. I started 2020 like literally all over the map. I was in the Louis Vuitton PM Agenda as my wallet, a pocket rings planner for my home planner, another pocket rings planner for like health and fitness. I was planning to use an A6 Day Free from Hobonichi, an A6 Daily from Hobonichi, and a Hobonichi Sneaker Weeks, which the cover is the same size as the pages, and a regular Hobonichi Weeks. And seriously, I was like all over the map. I discovered that I did not like journaling. It was like really stressful to keep it up and memory keep. So I decided to just toss it. I stopped memory keeping within probably a couple weeks. It just was not my thing. I wanted to memory keep and journal for 2021, but it's gone out the window. But anyways, let's keep on going about 2020. I was in the chunky 30mm ring planners. I had one in white, black, and pink. And at first I really loved it because I was into the deco type of planning, but gradually I kind of moved away from the deco, so I didn't really need the 30mm ring planners anymore. So I actually decided to sell it. I wanted the luxe look, so I bought a LV dupe of the Zippy wallet where it was big enough for me to slip my Hobonichi Weeks in there. What I did find though was that it didn't really lay flat, and so it was really awkward to take photos and write in it. And not only that, when I loaded up all of the card slots with my wallet, because I kind of wanted it to be like on the go, it just didn't end up working for me. So I kept using my LV PM Agenda as my wallet and on the go planner. Again, I dressed up my Hobonichi planners and I just didn't like using it. I don't like the paper. It's just not for me. I am using it for 2021. Again, I will go into that later on in my other videos in the future. But Hobonichi Weeks as a memory keeper was just not for me. I did try it though. 2020 also allowed me to try out the Giglio Miyakara in pocket rings, and I got it in the undyed leather. I really liked the look of it, but I didn't like the functionality of the leather. I didn't even like the Miyakara configurations because it didn't lay flat, and the rings were too small for being an on-the-go planner, which is funny because I ended 2020 with a Filofax Hallboard, but I'll get into that later. I love the look of the undyed leather, but there was one day that I took it out, actually in this photo here, where I took it out for lunch and it was raining. And so I didn't want to use my large purse because I was at work and was going on my break. I just wanted to bring my pocket planner, and it got a couple raindrops on it and I freaked out, and I just was like, no, I can't have this in my collection. It's not functional for me. So I decided to sell the Miyakara undyed. I'm thinking about getting the pocket undyed in the future, but I'm still not sold on it. Another Giglio that I did love but didn't like the leather was the Giglio medium in the personal rings in the color gold, and it had a really weird like dirt reddish undertone to it. It was kind of older, so it had more patina than when you would just freshly purchased it, but I knew it was just too dark for me, and so I actually sold it. I regretted it for so long, but I just knew deep down inside that these colors were not for me. Along with the failure of using Hobonichi Weeks was the failure of the A6, the Hobonichi Free, and the A6 Stalogy. It just wasn't for me. I even tried to set up a moleskin pocket, and I don't know, I did like the paper, but it just didn't stick. I think in the beginning of the year, I just really wanted to try all the planners and see what works, and after a couple months, I knew what planner system that I needed. I needed a personal, a pocket, and another pocket to act as a wallet. So I've had my Louis Vuitton agendas for a while. I actually sold the monogram and the bean, but only kept the azure because it's discontinued. So I really wanted to use the azure in my collection. I actually started using the Recollection 7mm wider than the regular personal inserts. So I used that for a while, but then I decided that if I really wanted to buy some deco and stuff, I really needed to get used to using the regular, narrower personal inserts. So I was getting customs for a while, but then I just stopped doing that. I used to love crock pox. So that's an abbreviated term for pocket rings, crock planners. And so I was so happy to be able to purchase a Yui pink, like a blushy crock pocket. And I actually got this secondhand. They're discontinued on the AliExpress website. So I was just so happy. Moterm has a pink crock, but it's more of a dusty rose color, almost like a rosewood of the Giglio, but not the matte finish, the glossier finish. So I was just so happy and so lucky to have gotten the Yui blush crock planner. When I got it, I just used it a lot. I used it for a couple months, and that's a long time for me. Even though I knew book-bound planners are not for me, I still tried the Muji A6 and the Pocket Muji planner, and it just did not work for me. I don't even know why I bought it. After using the personal azure planner, I kind of regretted selling my agendas. So I made it a goal for 2020 to repurchase the monogram and the bean planners. So I was so lucky to have gotten the agenda in monogram locally, and it was actually damaged, meaning like the rings were not sticking to the back plate, and I knew it was an authentic Louis Vuitton because the bolts or the screws were jagged, meaning that it's really hard to replace. You'd have to get it replaced by Louis Vuitton itself. So when I got the planner, I was so thankful that I was able to shake it to stick, because I think the previous owners thought like it was broken because like they would put it in and it wouldn't go all the way and it would fall out. So I checked the Louis Vuitton planner Facebook groups to see like how I could put it back in. So what I did was like shook it, and then eventually just popped in, and now it totally works. I did dabble with my favorite planner, which is the Filofax Sienna in cinnamon. And the sienna leather is the most buttery, smooth planner I have ever owned. This planner is something that I will not ever sell. I have it in both the pocket and personal, and no regrets getting them both. I actually did sell my pocket sienna back in 2018, 2019, and I rebought it towards the end of 2019. So it's never leaving my collection again. The biggest 2020 game changer was when I switched out the regular Louis Vuitton PM Agenda rings out to 12mm rings. And I was floored with how more functional the PM Agenda was. And so what I use now, and since then, I have been using my Louis Vuitton Agenda as my on-the-go still. So since then, I have never gone back, and I still need to get more 12mm rings for my azure and a bean, which I also made it a goal to rebuy the LV PM Agendas in both azure and a bean. Towards the middle of 2020, I purchased my first Moterm planner. It was in the pink lychee color, and I was floored with the quality. I guess what I was thinking was my Yui planner wasn't the best quality inside. The outside was amazing quality, but the inside wasn't. The rings couldn't be interchangeable. But when I got the Moterm, I was literally floored with how gorgeous it was. Obviously, it's not a Giglio or a VDS, but for the price point and the texture and quality of how it's made, I was so happy. So I decided to purchase more Moterm planners. I bought the personal gray, white, and pink lychee, and I was again floored and so in love. I really love the white lychee personal rings planner. It's an off-white. It can work well with warm and cool tones, so I love that planner. Another thing that I sold and rebought in 2020 was my Filofax Malden planners. And so every Malden batch that you get, the tone of the leather, the brown is different. And so I didn't really like the personal or the pocket that I got, so I sold them. What I did afterwards was I bought a used Filofax Personal, which I loved. I love the more worn out brown leather look. And then I bought brand new off Amazon the Filofax Pocket Malden, and it had a more honeyed color rather than the dark kind of barky color. And so I actually fell in love with my second Filofax Malden purchases. 2020 also reignited the love for Kate Spade planners. I tried the snap closure Kate Spade, and I just didn't really like how it didn't lay flat, but I did love the Wellesley. So I rebought the pink and the black. I used to own them back in 2018, 2017 and sold them after I jumped on the Filofax LV bandwagon, but I knew I wanted something else. I wanted a zip planner in my collection, so I was able to snag both of them locally at amazing affordable prices. So I was able to purchase a VDS Touch Me personal rings planner in both pearl and parm. I used to own these two colors in pocket size, and I regretted it ever since. I used to own so many VDS pockets. I had the gris blue, the Bois de Rose, the parm, and the pearl, and the noir. I had 5. Was that 5? I'm not sure. But anyways, I had 5 of the colors in pocket ring size, and I have no idea why I sold them. I think I just decided like I didn't really want them anymore and wanted to try something else. So I was really happy and really fortunate to be able to get my pearl and parm in personal rings. Those 2 additions, I decided to actually sell my Moterm pink and gray lychee. I did hold on to the white lychee in personal rings, but for 2021, moving forward, I really want to get the white pocket, gray pocket Moterm planners, but yeah, we'll see. I also really wanted a white croc planner, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I was on AliExpress like countless hours looking for it, and so I decided to purchase a planner from JP Planner. And this is not a very well-known planner planner shop. I found her on Instagram, and when I asked for the configurations and got it in my hands, I fell in love. It's so gorgeous. It's not glazed on the edges, but it's definitely what I was looking for, a white croc planner. After using the LV PM Agenda, also alternating between like the LV card key, the card holders where you could put your keys on there, and like the key pouch, I decided to get another Filofax. I decided to get the Filofax Holborn in black and pocket rings, and it had 16mm rings, so a tad bit bigger than the LV 12mm rings that I put in there. And I literally fell in love. The leather is so durable and beautiful and smooth. I can just go on. I actually dropped it in the rain for a few minutes without knowing it. And when I brought it inside, there was like, it just looked amazing. It just looked like it didn't even happen. And so I think for 2021, I want to try the personal. I'm not sure. It might be too like professional looking for me. I mean, like, my LVs and Gillios do look professional, but the Filofax Holborn just looks really, I don't know, smart. So I might add the personal to my collection, I might not, but I definitely loved how durable it was. So I told you I stuck with personal and pocket ring planners, but I did kind of experiment with the Franklin Covey compact inserts because they fit in the VDS Touch Me planners in personal ring size. And going forward, I'm not sure if I want to add that to my planner regime. I thought I did, but then after going through it and kind of experimenting with it, I don't think I'm going to be using Franklin Covey compact inserts for 2021. Another size that I started experimenting with at the end of 2020 is the Filofax Mini. And so I have been looking for months for a Filofax Mini Malden in the color ochre. And I just was checking eBay constantly, and I finally found one on Instagram. Actually, I asked someone, she was originally selling a Filofax Holborn in brown. And I was like, oh, I don't want the brown, I want the black personal, sorry. And then she, in passing, she was like, I'm trying to get rid of like some of my Julias and Filofaxes. And then off the whim, I was just like, do you have a mini Malden for sale? And she did. So I was really, really lucky to be able to have found that mini Malden. I just love this thing so much. It is so cute and tiny. It's just so cute. I love it. I'm just so happy to add it to my collection in 2020. Towards the end of 2020, I was so fortunate to get the Giglio Yellow, and I ordered this thing in October, and it finally came in the beginning of December, and it came from Singapore. It's really hard being in Canada to find a secondhand Giglio where I'm not paying an arm and a leg for shipping. And so when I found it on the buy, sell, trade Giglio site on Facebook, I just snatched it. It was such a good deal. And so this was the Giglio for me. I have been looking forever for the Giglio color for me, going through the gold and the undyed, the Miacara, but I knew I wanted a Campagna for sure, which is the personal rings. And so I was able to get it, and I was just so happy. After getting it and just falling in love with the color yellow, I decided to also purchase the pocket yellow, and I just got that recently, and I'm so in love. It's just, the color is perfect. It's as if it's like a more patinaed undyed and like a little bit lighter than brand new Giglio Gold. So I've just been so happy to add that to my collection. I also was able to snatch two Motor in the color Cream Croc and in Taupe. And let me tell you guys, I'm just like dying. Like, I love these colors so much. I love how neutral they are. They go so well with the Louis Vuitton agendas. And so I've just been so happy with that addition to my collection. So yeah, that is my 2020 planner journey. I still have no idea what planners I want to be using for 2021. I do know though that I want a personal, a pocket, and another pocket to act as my wallet, or even the mini to act as my wallet. But I'm glad that I'm set with these three sizes, and I'm probably not going to be experimenting with anything else. I did buy a 2021 Hobonichi Weeks, two of them actually, and Muji planners, but honestly, I don't think I'll be using bookbound planners in the future. It's just not my thing. But yeah, that is my planner journey. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing as well. Until next time, you guys, bye.